So the funny thing is, I wish I could say I made that decision, and it was something that I just vehemently believed in. The truth is, I was growing the company. Over the course of the summer, it really grew a lot. And I had some investors that wanted to invest, and they were like, we want to invest, but if you're going back to school, we're not going to invest for like this part-time CEO. We want to invest in a full-time CEO. And it was a struggle, and I knew my parents were so into education. And I think you also have to rewind to a time where the internet was this new thing. I mean, just my parents didn't use the internet. And so, here I'm running this business, it's making money. I have investors, and I go to my parents, and I'm like, hey, I got this tough decision. Was really planning on them telling me, no, you can't quit school. And then honestly, that was going to be my easy out. I wanted them to say like, no, and so that was their initial reaction, was like, no, like, you can't quit school. Are you crazy? You got a full ride to a top 20 university. You're out of your mind. And I was like, I agree. I agree. So then they're like, but why do these investors want to invest in this thing? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you're not making real money. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not making real money? I'm like, yeah, I'm making real money. And they're like, no, you're making internet money. And so the interesting thing, like, my dad invented Bitcoin before it really existed, because he was like, we have a virtual currency in that stock market simulator. And so he thought, when I was telling him these numbers, it was funny because even that summer I was flashing back, and he would every day, all the time, just be like, you need to get a job this summer so you can save up money. I'm like, Dad, I'm making money. And in his mind, he's like, yeah, you're making this play internet money and you're not making any money. And so when I would tell him like, oh, we did 10 grand this month, he was thinking I'm talking about this imaginary money. I'm like, well, Dad, why would I tell you that? So we get to the end of the summer, and he tells me, he's asking me these questions, and I'm telling him like, no, when we just made 20,000, it was our biggest month ever, and got a check from a company called DoubleClick. And he's like, so you're saying when you're telling me you're making 10,000, 20,000, that's real money? Like, where are you putting the money? I'm like, I'm putting it in the bank account. And he was like, you are being scammed. We have to figure out like where this money is coming from. Like, we get in the car immediately. We go to the bank, walk into the bank. I had one check with me that was like 14,000 or something. He hands that check to the bank, and he's like, my son has been coming in here depositing these checks that come from some random people on the internet, and he's gotten caught up in some kind of scam, and we just need you to figure out what's going on. So she calls, and it's like a $500 million company, and they're like, yeah, they're good for the money, and this is real. So we get back in the car. My dad turns to me, he's like, you're thinking about going back to school? Like, why would you go back to school right now?
Wow.
So yeah, that was that transition. I needed that push.